what game would you like us to play in October. This is the last video before Game of the Month, where we will reveal your guys' pick for the community pick Game of the Month. So if you have an idea of a game you'd like us to play next month, coming very soon, type it down in the comments. Let me know. I'll throw it on a list. And yeah, Game of the Month will come out. We'll reveal through randomly picking the Game of the Month for October and the 2 runner-ups. So even if you don't win, you could possibly get on our list for a later pick. So make sure to vote for the community pick Game of the Month right now in the comments. Any game within reason. It'll be a lot of fun to find out what game you guys picked. There's already a lot of really good picks. And if you want to add to that list, let me know in the comments. Now let's get to Plus Club. What's going on, guys? Welcome to September's episode of Plus Club, the show where we play the games offered on PlayStation Plus throughout the month, and at the end of the month we talk about it. My name's Seth, and joining me today, of course, is Chevy. Chevy, how you doing? And are you excited to finally talk about Little Nightmares 2, MLB The Show 24, Quidditch Champions, and are you hoping people are voting for Game of the Month next month? Community pick. You guys saw the intro.
You're running out of time, so get it done.
Yeah, we're literally filming. I pushed back Game of the Month a day just to give you guys an extra day to get those votes in, and then we're going to film tomorrow and get that out. So if you want to get something on that list, do it now. But anyway.
Yeah. Doing good. Been a lazy weekend, which I'm totally fine with.
Same.
Kind of figuring out my... I guess food inventory, because I'm going on that trip next weekend. So I want to make sure that when I go grocery shopping, I don't buy a bunch of stuff that's just going to sit around and go bad. But otherwise, I'm just chilling and trying out Metaphor earlier. I haven't got a chance to get too far into it yet, so I don't really have an opinion. But
oh, yeah, so then download that. I've just been cracking out in the finals because Season 4 started. You should be playing it if you're not playing it. It's really good so far. Yeah, anything else?
No.
All right. Well, let's jump into Plus Club. Hopefully you guys had a chance to play Little Nightmares 2, MLB The Show 24, and Quidditch Champions. But before we talk about those games, let's talk about what's coming out in like 2 days. And that is WWE 2K24, Dead Space, the remake, and Doki Doki Literature Club Plus, I think it's called. That's a game that I've heard the name a million times, and I've never seen it. I've never looked into it. But for some reason, people talk about it. So I'm really curious to find out what the hell that even is. Dead Space is going to be super easy for me to play because I've already played through it 2.5 times. So I could review it right now. And it's going to be really nice for me to play a WWE 2K24 or WWE game in general after playing, was that ECW?
Whatever it was,
that we had played. I don't know. It was like one of those alternate wrestling games.
Mm-hmm. Had like Sting, I think.
Yeah, because he moved over there for some reason. But it's going to be nice to play like a legit one that has probably more content to it because the other one was a little bare bones. So, every once in a while I like to play a wrestling game, and I'm sure this one will have a lot more to it. So look forward to that. What do you think about these games?
Yeah, I mean, similarly with the 2K24, I'm looking forward to seeing like where wrestling games are, especially because that's definitely kind of like the flagship of the genre. So very curious, especially because a lot of customization. So it should be, my first day I'll probably be a lot of just like customizing everything. So Dead Space, I've seen you play it a little bit. I don't really have any firsthand experience with it, so that one's kind of a question mark for me. And then Doki Doki, I know, is a visual novel style game.
Okay. Which
I'm fine with playing. I also know that it looks one way and is a different way in story. So, but that I don't know like details, so that'll be interesting to dive into. I've also been kind of in a weird mindset where I have almost bought a couple visual novels recently, so I think it's probably good timing. So,
yeah, that's good. Not for me though. I'm in a shooter mode right now. I just want to destroy things. So, I'll play it. We'll find out if it's any good or not.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, let us know in the comments what do you guys think about these games. Are you excited? Which ones are you most excited for? Is there any of them you're not excited for? And yeah, let me know what you're thinking about in the comments below. All right. So let's jump into the games we did play, which, reminding you again, are Little Nightmares 2, MLB The Show 24, and Quidditch Champions. We should probably start with MLB The Show 24 if you can get a chance to play that. Is that a sim?
I don't know if you would call it that or not.
Maybe it can be if you adjust enough things in the game. The game has a lot of things going on, but it's a baseball game. You guys know baseball, I'm sure. There's a bunch of different modes. There's you can just do like a quick play mode. You can go online and play against people. You can play with people, which would have been interesting to play co-op. I'm curious if you can like pick positions or whatever. Kind of neat.
Oh, yeah.
Should have tried that. We didn't. There is a career mode, character creator. You can make your own arenas. In the career mode, there's like perks you can equip on your character as you basically progress through the career, make choices, stuff like that. And yeah, it's a game where you take a wooden or metal, I don't know what they use, stick, and
I think they use wood,
and you hit a ball, and you try and make it go somewhere where somebody won't catch it, and then you run, or you throw balls at people, because I did that a couple times because I was getting frustrated with the system, and then I had to change it over to a one that worked better for me because I was like, I fucking hate how this controls. But we'll talk about that. What we think of MLB The Show 24 in September?
Yeah, well, I mean, the part you just brought up with the systems part was very evident really early on playing the game. If you spend a little bit of time like going through the menus and stuff like that, you will find out pretty quickly that the game offers a multitude of ways to actually interact with it, which I appreciate because I'm not really into these games very often, and so I was able to like sit down, test out every mode, and see if I liked using it or not. So that was a plus, I would say, because I got to actually pick a play style that worked for me. I also chose to make the field work all automatic because I just honestly didn't want to deal with it. So
It's funny. I did the exact same thing.
I just did batting.
I was like, I don't want to deal with that. Yeah.
I switched I don't think I switched the pitching because I kind of liked the little box you could like aim in, and then you pick your pitch and it'll kind of show you what direction it's going to head and stuff like that. That one didn't bother me, so I stuck with that. But the batting I had to switch. I went to just a very basic timing, pick what type of swing, whether it's going to be like a bunt, a normal hit, a power hit, or I can't remember what the fourth one was called. And then just I had to spend a long time getting used to the timing of the ball traveling before swinging because I was terrible.
I feel so not crazy because I was playing this game for like an hour and I was trying out the different arrangements. I was like, dude, I can't hit this fucking ball, and when I do, it flies off to the right, it flies off to the left, or when I do hit it, it goes like perfectly into the guy doesn't even run for the ball. He just puts his hand up and it lands right in his fucking glove.
I mean, that's baseball.
And I'm just like, dude, I don't even know how the hell. And I'm like a person who, you know, in the back of my brain, I want to do good in a game. I'm not like, well, I guess I lost. Like, I'm like, I want to fucking win. It'd be nice if I could. And like, I was just getting my ass kicked nonstop, specifically with the batting, which has like always been my favorite part of any baseball game I've played. And the pitching, I did a little better until I found a pitching. I think it's the default one where you have to do a design and then flick to do accuracy versus power.
Oh, I didn't do. I must have switched mine then.
Yeah, because that's the first one.
Yeah, I did not.
And
like
I didn't
that
start with that. I moved to a different because I was like, I don't want to fuck do that. That looks stupid. And I tried a couple other ones. I'm like, this is like there's one where you have a meter and it goes forward and then it comes back.
That one I also hated it.
Yeah, I hated it. Yeah. I was like, this one makes the most sense to me, like mentally. And I did it, and the timing was so fucking rough. I was like, this is insane. Like it's like, oh, you did horrible. I'm almost on the line. I'm like, that's crazy. So yeah, I went back and I did the line one, and even though it was inaccurate, I guess it's a little more fair in the sense that, like, you know, if I'm not very accurate doing that, I guess I wouldn't throw as accurate as I want. But it wasn't like to the point where it was so unfair that if I was like at like 69% accuracy, I would miss. I would still, you know, throw it. But
oh, interesting. The one I picked there's a rectangle on the screen, which is the strike zone basically, and then you can move where you're aiming with the cursor is just a little dot, and then depending on the pitch, there'll be like an accent on that dot to let you know what direction it's gonna head in, and it's not like the same every time. Because
I remember that. Yeah.
yeah, and that's one I used, and I liked that one because it was fairly simple. Plus, you still had a lot of ways to like play because you still had like fastball, curveball, all those other types of pitches and stuff. And you can kind of get used to like, if there was a power swinger up, I would like try really hard to kind of keep it up close to their chest, so they'd have to swing like this if they want to try to hit it. And they'd usually strike out. So, yeah. But the fact that there's even choices there for comfort, your play style is great because
I prefer they do it that way, but I kind of hate that they give you all those options in a weird way. So I soft hate it. I don't not enough to change my grade anyway, but. The game doesn't have an identity in the sense of like mechanics, but it is good because if they would have forced me to use one of those mechanics I hated, I would have had a bad time. So it is good. I had the option, but it's really interesting how that game's like very a la carte.
Yeah,
it's just like play it how you want, which is good. It's all good. When I say I soft hate it, it's more so from a game design thing of like kind of weird that they don't have a specific way of designing the game.
Well, I don't have and I'm sure I doubt you do either, but a history with the game.
Mm-hmm.
And
we played the last one.
Those could have all been systems in other games. Maybe they just decided to let you choose from all of them.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the last one we played, I hated that game.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
And it had options as well, but they all felt like shit. So that I could even play this one was nice because I have a lot of things to say about it. Other than that, but that I could play in a way that felt even slightly efficient eventually, definitely helped. So, like I said, I don't think it's a bad thing that they have that.
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird from a design point of view.
Yeah, let's see. So once I got used to the timing and the batting, though, which took some time.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, you got to really learn.
Yeah, I was like just swinging way too early all the time. So I had to get used to that. And once I got used to that, I was hitting the ball, I don't know, like 4 out of 5 times at that point. And then, of course, you run into, things that you would in baseball, which is pop flies that go straight to the outfield or, too shallow of hits that they just immediately throw the first base. You're going to have a chance to get there. Every once in a while, you get a good pocket shot or a home run. So I ended up winning the first game I played because I just power hit a ton of home runs because I wasn't even worried about playing technically very much there. I did try a couple times to kind of play around with like bunting and like going for pockets and stuff like that, but I was having some pretty terrible luck with that. So
I was cheesing those bunts for a while.
Yeah,
the game
I was
started
terrible
learning,
at them.
Yeah,
so, yeah, I would bunt it would just basically go straight to the pitcher, and he would just throw it straight.
Oh yeah, mine would always go to the left and kind of roll over there.
Yeah, that's ideal.
And it wouldn't be out of bounds, so like they had to come running for it. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah,
so, I was not so lucky. And then towards the end of the game, I sent a bunch of pop flies, and I was just like, the rounds were going so fast because I was striking them out, and then I was just hitting them straight to the outfield constantly. So. I picked the Seattle Mariners because I live in Washington, so that's about as close to loyal as I'm going to get there. I was just like, that's home. I'll just pick that. So let's see. The visuals on the game are pretty good. I don't think they're amazing, but they're definitely clean and had decent animation and stuff like that. So no complaints there. The customizable stadiums I thought was a neat touch. Being able to, am I mixing up a sports game we just played? I might be mixing up soccer.
It had arena customization.
You changed the seat colors and everything, or was that the last game?
I think so.
I'm getting mixed up, so I apologize if I'm wrong. But anyways, I like that kind of stuff. The more customization, the better. I did not make a character like you did because I just played a quick game. Mostly because I was just trying to get used to it. I spent so long just getting like used to the controls that but then I played a full game of baseball, so it was just a pretty long sit. But it was enough for me to have an opinion on the game. So
I spent some hours in the game, and I don't feel like I played that many games.
Baseball's a long game.
Yeah, I played like 2 quick matches, and then I played a couple games in my career mode just to see how that worked. I was gonna play 1 and be done with it, but then I got perks. So I was like, I should probably check that out. So
Though I would say, so I guess just to kind of wrap this up, my overall experience was mostly positive. I don't really have any complaints. I don't necessarily have an inkling to play it again, but if you were to ask me to sit down and play a sports game, it would probably be this or a golf game, because this was pretty all right. So
yeah, I'd be curious about the multiplayer. I like that it had a co-op mode, because that's something that I would like to see in more games that have multiplayers, ways to play with your friends and not a versus mode, because
for
a lot of people don't like to do that. So anything else?
No.
All right, so like I said before, I played quick matches and I played career mode. First thing that comes to mind is I think the graphics are actually really good. I was surprised by how good it looked, considering the last game I remember not looking that great. I was kind of surprised on how not good the last game looked, so I don't know what happened between then and now, but I thought character models were really detailed. I thought the stadiums were really detailed. I thought animations were really good. I was surprised by watching just like the ambient animations, the different animations on batting, and even when you make your character, you can go through a whole list of stances, what happens if you get hit by the ball. Like there's all these different things they have made from mocapping that's really interesting, that they even put that much work into different animations for the same thing happening to a person. So yeah, visually the game's good. It's also a huge suite of content. If you are a baseball fan, you can edit stadiums. You can make your own character. You can play quick matches. There was like mini game type things too that I didn't touch. It's like a home run mode you can play with your friends, where you just like see how many home runs you can get versus your friends. I like when games like this have like shorter modes like that you can have fun in, especially if you're a baseball fan. I'm sure it's fun to be like, yeah, let's just fucking try and hit some home runs. Quick match, I did terrible. My first match, like horrendous. I was fine tuning, kept going to the options, changing the batting and the pitching and stuff. Finally got it fine tuned. My batting, I think I just put it to the simple one where it doesn't have anything on the screen. You just have to time it. And I'm sure there's negatives to not having the other mechanics there, I guess. But I was originally using the one that had like an aimer and had 3 dots. And I think you're supposed to line up your most accurate hit with the baseballs if it hits the middle dot, but top dot and bottom dot will also hit it. But you still have to get the timing. But I didn't like having shit in front of the ball coming at me. Yeah, so I was like, get rid of that. If it's about timing, like I don't want this in front of me, so I got rid of it. So it might have been a minimal experience, but it was like the way I could play the best. So I stuck with that. And then with pitching, I did the original default. Well, I guess not default, because you pick whatever you want right in the beginning. But it's the first one, so in my brain it's like default. If you just start in the game and you click the first thing, it's gonna be that.
Yeah, definitely.
In which it's a circle, and then whatever kind of pitch you're doing, it wants you to trace a pattern with the right stick, and then once you get that pattern traced, you have to flick the stick down or up wherever you land on the pattern, and that is the power, and the tracing is the accuracy of your pitch, which seems overly complicated and kind of feels like skate. But once you do it enough, it starts feeling a little better. At first I'm like, he's throwing a ball, why am I flicking the stick all over the place? But it makes sense when you think about it. Accuracy, power, got it. So I used that worked the best for me. It's not the one I liked the most, but it worked. I was getting better pitches with it, so I stuck with it. Let's see. Also picked Mariners. Also picked T-Mobile Stadium. I don't know if you said that, but
I didn't.
Yeah,
I picked that one.
Well, yeah, but it defaulted to it because I knew I picked Mariners. So played career mode. I spent way longer on him than I should have. You guys will see him in the footage. His name was like Willard Spicer or something, because it has
he's spicy.
It has a system where you can type out a name and a last name, but then it has audio versions of a bunch of names that you can also pick. And if you type out a name, it'll tell you, oh, we don't have this. Do you want to still keep it? But if you type out a name it does have, it'll just link it with the audio, which I thought was kind of a good system. Yeah. Because I typed out a weird first name and it's like, we don't have that. And I was like, oh, and I went in there and I looked through them and I was like, Willard's a funny name for a dude who looks like this. And then I typed that out afterwards, because I was like, if you got this many names, I might as well choose the ones you have. I should have checked if they had Seth or not. I know they probably wouldn't have our last name, but
definitely. They won't have my first name either.
Oh, probably not. Yeah. So yeah, I spent a bunch of time on him. At first, I was just kind of flying through the character creator because I was like, it's baseball, who cares? But then when I noticed I started doing things that like were kind of ridiculous, I was like, oh, that gave me some freedom here. Okay, and I started making him look really crazy because some games like it's very limited. You can like kind of move the eyes slightly. You can kind of move the jaw slightly. It's like very minimal.
Templates.
Yeah, but this like you could actually like move things around to the point where I have my guy's eyes are like bulging out of his head. I have him like super wide, and I have like his chin small and his lips stupid. Like pretty decent character editor. Nowadays, it's not the best. It's not even close to the best, but it's if like 5 is average character creators, I'd probably give it like a 5.8 to a 6. Better than average. So
I was say it seems like from seeing your character, because I didn't make one obviously, but you showed me him, and then like the basketball game we played last, those two seem to have like character creators that'll let you just make a ridiculous character, which is appreciated because why not?
yeah, I don't care.
It's a fantasy.
I don't care what my dude like looks like. I'm not trying to make me in games. I'm not trying to make some like cool, dignified dude. I'm not saying if you want to do that, that's bad. Just for me personally, I'm not invested in this game. I'm only playing it for the channel because we like to have these conversations. But after this, I probably won't continue to play. Although I'm kind of in the same boat as you, and I probably would play it again.
Yeah, I didn't hate it.
Yeah, me neither. But we'll get there. But the character editor allowed some freedom that I got to actually sit and tinker around for a while. So I spent more time in the character editor than I thought I would. And then, I played career mode. It has a whole story that if you're into baseball and you have the idea or the aspiration or dreams of like, what would it be like if I rose up through, being a baseball player or whatever, it kind of gives you that fantasy, which is cool. I didn't care about it, so I was kind of skipping through all the dialogue and the options. And then you go to like some baseball camp where it like tests your batting and your pitching, and then it gives you grades. I don't know what that's doing in the game. Maybe it's changing your difficulty. I don't know. But yeah, I got like a B on batting and a fucking C on pitching. So I got B's on both. I almost like my last pitch, I was on C, and then I pitched good enough to hit B. So I'm like, okay, I'll take that. That's fine.
Might also dictate how much your character is worth.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention too much, but and then you get to pick some options when you create your character. It's like about batting and pitching, and if you're like a power hitter or something like that. But anyway, you play a couple games, and then you start getting perks. I started basically putting a bunch of perks in on my batting because I want to just hit home runs basically. So I did that. I got a couple home runs in a row, which was nice on one of my games with that character. And it was funny watching him in the game because he's taller than everybody and he's very big and funny looking. So
bit of a goblin.
Yeah. Yeah. So wasn't bored doing that. But yeah, overall, played both those modes, saw the other ones, didn't play them, but I would be open to trying them, and played it longer than I thought I would, honestly. But in the beginning, it's because I was trying to learn the fucking game. And then when I finally learned the game, I'm like, hey, it's kind of fun. So, not the worst time in the world. And definitely, for me personally, a redemption of the MLB The Show brand for me personally.
I agree with that.
Because before playing this, I was dreading having to play this because the last one I didn't like. So yeah, I had fun. Recommendations. If you like baseball, you're playing this already. I was talking with Cody and he's like, oh yeah, that one's pretty good. So he's already played it, playing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you like baseball, for some reason you haven't played this, check it out. I liked it better than the last one, which I think was 23. I think 25 is out. I don't know. Was this 25? This was 24. This was 24.
24.
Yeah. So yeah, even if you don't love baseball, but you like competitive games, if you're open to the idea of playing baseball, you probably will have some fun here, unless you absolutely hate it.
I would even just say if you liked any era of baseball games, because it kind of, with all the control options, it
allows you to
pick something. Because I played about as simple as you can get, because I didn't want to. One thing I hate about most sports games is like they're trying to make it feel so involved, and for a fan, I'm sure that's great, but for a guy who's just trying to play a video game, it drives me insane. I don't want to do a bunch of stuff, a lot of golfing games, you'll have to like do a bunch of stick movements and stuff. And like sometimes I just want to hit the button, watch a power meter go up, try to hit the button at the top if I can, and that's as far as I want to extend it. Like,
yeah, it's like sometimes I'll play a game like Arma where I gotta like I hear a bolt snap, I gotta lay down and assess the situation for the next 20 minutes, trying to survive, and then find the target and take it out. And then sometimes I just want to run around and shoot shit.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the sim elements of certain games, but sometimes I just want to play a fucking game.
Yep.
And just chill. So yeah, this game does allow basically how much you want out of it you can get. So yeah, I agree with that. But it's kind of hard to recommend this game because like if you don't like baseball, it's a baseball game.
It is, yeah.
But I'm not into baseball and I had fun, so take that as you will.
Yeah.
But I can't be like, if you like fucking character creators, well, if you don't like baseball, that character's not going to matter to you. So
yeah, I mean, also if you like games where like you make a character and like, you make them grow.
My guy grew, dude. He's huge.
I didn't quite mean that way, but there's a career mode, and you don't necessarily have to be in a sports game to enjoy that kind of functionality. I mean, there's like all sorts of games where you have that kind of progression. So
yeah. Anything else?
nope.
All right, let's grade it. I'm gonna give it. Man, when I started, I was thinking I was gonna give it like a C or something, but I think I'm gonna give it a B. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I just don't know if I can give it like a B plus. Nothing about it like really blew me away, but it was like a solid experience. I once I got the mechanics locked in the way I could play it and enjoy it, I wasn't thinking about that I was like struggling to play it anymore. I was just like, okay, yeah, I can do this, and I wasn't checking the time or like, okay, that's enough. I played this for a couple hours, like, so yeah, I'll give it a B.
I mean, also if you're just like sitting there like listening to a long form video, it's like the perfect game to do that too as well.
Sure. Just music playing while I was playing it. So
yeah, I was catching up on YouTube. So yeah, I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna give it a B.
Okay.
I think for sports games, it's pretty high for me. I did enjoy myself, which is a bit of a rarity because I also am not really into sports, though I do have very outdated history with baseball. So there is some attachment there to some extent. And I would play it again, though I would have to reinstall it because my hard drive is getting full and I have to delete and reinstall games right now. So
yeah,
I should probably buy a new hard drive or
buy the
SSD or whatever.
PS5 Pro. 2 terabytes.
Not doing that. But I'll buy an M2 because if I stop using it on my PlayStation, I can put it in my PC.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, B.
All right, 2Bs. Let us know in the comments what you guys think about MLB The Show 24. Is this a good one, the best one out of all the show games? If you've played them,
Is it the bad one and we like that for some reason?
Yeah, let us know for sure, because I know a lot of you guys are probably regularly playing these games. And what's your favorite things to do in this game? Whether you've played it before, or you just played it this month with us. What'd you play? Did you play quick play? Did you play career mode? Did you enjoy the mini games? Did you make a character? And what'd you think about it overall? Let us know in the comments below. All right, next game we played in September was, let's go with Quidditch Champions. If you didn't get a chance to play Quidditch Champions, this is a Harry Potter game. It's a competitive Quidditch game. Quidditch is a game, I don't remember all the names. There's like Seeker and some guy with a bat. I don't remember the names, but basically there's this thing in the middle of the arena. You fly on a broomstick. You got to grab it. You pass it to your team. The other team is trying to take it from you or hit you with blue shells or with their baseball bat. Straight up will kill you with the baseball bat. Watching people just fall out of the sky is scary. And you have to fly to 3 rings. Anyone who's like a Harry Potter fan is probably fucking, what the hell are you even talking about? You fly to 3 rings, you got to throw it through. There is a goalie, it's called something, and they have to try and stop you from throwing it in. You basically gain 10 points for every score. There's this thing that flies around that the seeker finds. If they find it, I think you get 30 points, 50 points. You get a chunk of points if somebody finds that. So it's interesting that you're flying around and somebody's looking for something. Sarah was explaining some things to me when I was playing. She's like, yeah, isn't there like 3 balls? I'm like, I have no fucking idea. And And she's like, yeah, there should be. And she's like, why do you have this many people on your team? I'm like, I don't know. So yeah, you play Quidditch. It is a cartoony Fortnite looking game. It has a more simple character creator than MLB The Show 24, and it has a battle pass, customization, cosmetic unlocks, different brooms to unlock, and perks to unlock for your characters. It has a single player mode, a campaign mode. It has multiplayer online. And yeah, is that sufficient? Did I get everything?
You made it sound bigger than I even think the game is. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I played it earlier in the month, and I had a pretty strong idea of it, and then I played it last night. Played about 8 or 9 matches just to refresh myself, and there's some stuff to it. You just gotta play it a little bit more. But we both played it, and I go first, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I played this at first, and I thought it was a very simple game, and it still is, but there's a little bit more to it once you play it long enough. Basically, the way the game controls is you're using the left stick to move forward and backward, and you're using the right stick to change the direction you're flying up and down, left and right. You have dodge abilities. If you're playing the dude with the baseball bat, you can like shoot blue shells at people and fucking hit people. And at first, it seems the concept is simple because you're just flying around and you're throwing it back and forth and trying to throw it in the goal. But once you start playing and getting familiar with it, you start pulling off some interesting maneuvers, dodging people. I wish I knew the terminology. I forgot what the thing is fucking called. You grab and throw around.
I think it's called snitch.
Snitch, yeah, whatever that is. Once it goes in play, like flying down and grabbing it and dodging out of the way of somebody, like it starts kind of feeling closer to like something like a more simplified version of like Ace Combat or something. It's kind of an interesting situation to have to think about up and down, left and right behind you while you're flying around. All the arenas are very much the same looking. They're like on the outside, they're slightly different looking, but they're basically the same thing from what I experienced. There's some rain sometimes, so that wasn't anything worth noting. The gameplay, like I said, is simple, but once you get into it, it feels a little more involved as you play it. I played online, though, for a little bit, and I got fucking annihilated. All the kids who have been playing this month who are into this, they have been training because I was having a hard time interpreting what they were doing. There's a lot of big moves happening while I was playing. I was like, I'm gonna go back to single player for a little bit and practice. So yeah, I played mostly single player, played through the campaign a little bit, which has like a loose story of like characters from Harry Potter. They'll like pop up and they'll say some shit in the beginning of the match, and then you play the match and they have something to say at the end. Which if you're a Harry Potter fan, just like MLB The Show, I guess, if you're a baseball fan, you probably got more out of this than I did. I didn't care about the story. But yeah, I played for the gameplay, which was okay. And then it's got a bunch of unlocks, a bunch of things to like cosmetics and perks and stuff. The cosmetics, first off, I'm going to be honest, I don't like the visual style of the game. I don't like the cartoony look. I know they're going for like, everybody. And so when you make a game for everybody, you have to make it look like Fortnite. And I'm just like...
Also making it easy to make stuff for.
Yeah. So I'm already not a fan of the visual style, but then I also don't have an affinity for Harry Potter. And so when I'm unlocking like different outfits and brooms and stuff, even though the brooms do have stats, which I like, it doesn't do much for me. So every time I unlock stuff, I wasn't super excited about it, except for the perk, like stat-based stuff, because then I can actually start kind of working towards something. It was all kind of simplistic anyway, so didn't really do much for me. What else? Unlock stuff, campaign, online multiplayer where everybody's sweaty as fuck. These dudes were sweaty, dude. I was not understanding what was happening. Yeah, gameplay's fun. I liked it enough. Played it more than I thought I would. But it's like so simple, it's hard for me to talk about it. Because like basically you just grab the ball and you try and throw it in the holes. And I did that. And it was satisfying when it happened. Although there's this thing that happened multiple times where if you got too close to the the hole and you went to throw it through, it would like show the animation, but then it would just teleport somewhere else and somebody else would have it all of a sudden. I don't know if that's the goalie taking it from me and throwing it in a millisecond without any animations or dialogue explaining that, but that happened all the time. So I don't know if it's just like I was too close and that's against the rules. I don't know what was going on there, but it was really confusing for me because I'd like fly in there, I'd dodge the goalie dude, I'd go to chuck it, and it would just show me throw it, but nothing would happen. And all of a sudden it was in play over there. I'm like, where'd it go? So let me know in the comments if you know what the hell even happened there. But yeah, the game's okay. Here's the hard hitter thing I'm gonna say. I don't see this game staying around for a while. I think that a lot of people are going to play it because I don't think there's enough depth to it. Even if you're enjoying it right now, I just feel like you're going to get distracted and go play something else. Like there's not enough meat to this game that's going to keep people playing it for like a year. So unless they really support it. So I don't know if there's like, they made this game, they're going to get what they can get out of it when it comes to like purchasing stuff, and then like just write it off or something, because like I just don't see it lasting. But maybe the Harry Potter fans are like so into anything Harry Potter that they'll keep playing it. But like the whole time I was playing it, even though I was having fun, I was like, this is a temporary experience. I feel for most people, I think there's only gonna be a few diehard fans of this particular game. It doesn't feel like they put enough stuff into it to keep you there long term, which is tricky because that's almost any game that comes out now. If it's going to be like a games as a service type game where you keep playing it and they expect you to keep buying things for it, you got to keep them there. And if they've already invested time in another game, they'll play it for a little bit, but they're going to fucking leave. That's in MMOs, that's in shooters, that's in all this shit. Everybody's like, oh, this will be the blah, blah, blah killer. No, it won't. Because there's been games that have been out for like 20 years now that person has invested a shitload of time.
Yeah.
And they'll try something out, but they're going to go right back to it. And so my whole point is this game doesn't have, outside of it, it's Quidditch. That's interesting. That's different. But like outside of that, it doesn't have any like core mechanics or like must-have things to work towards that I think is going to keep it going. So I'll be really curious to see where it's at in a year. But I feel like in a year or two, we're going to hear, servers are shutting down this month for fucking Quidditch because I just don't see it lasting. So yeah, those are my jumbled thoughts on my experience with that game. It was all right.
Yeah. I'm not really going to talk about game mechanics. You already did that. So
too much.
My experience with the game was about expected for me. I also don't have an affinity for Quidditch or Harry Potter. And also, if you have watched this channel at all, you also know that I don't like controlling vehicles, period, in any game. So I struggled pretty hard with this game because you're literally floating in the sky with a semi-vehicle, like you're swimming underwater control system that I really disliked. So
what's that game in Final Fantasy X? The Sphere?
God.
I can't remember it.
I can't remember the name of it right now. Either.
Water Sphere. That was the name of the game. So this kind of reminded me of that. Like it doesn't play the same mechanically, but like that you're just in this like
bubble,
this 3-dimensional space of going up and down and shit.
I can see the connective tissue
is interesting.
Where your thoughts going with that for sure. So that game,
although I think
was much more menu focused.
I think Water Ball from Final Fantasy X, the famous Water Ball everybody knows by name, is definitely has more depth to it. Both in depth of water and mechanics. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, me neither. Because like
ask for it all the time.
Somebody will say it and be like, "That's the name." Yeah, of course. Let us know in the comments. I know if you're listening, you're like, "Bro, it's fucking Water Ball. You nailed it."
Anyways, let's see. The graphic style, similarly, not my taste. I'm not gonna say it's bad because it's very intentional what they're going for there. But I don't like it. So it's visually unattractive, control-wise unattractive. I don't like to control
one thing it has that I fucking hate in like games that are meant for everybody, and it's fine because like if you like it, I'm not like talking shit. I never care about changing people's opinions on things like that. But everyone's smiling. It's so annoying. I hate games like that where it was just like every character smiling. There's like no, and I know that like there's no character to these characters. They're just like you just make them, you just play whatever. But like I hate looking at just like group of people, just all of them just huge smiles on their faces.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you all just like look the same, just with different haircuts. Like it's just there's no difference in the way people look, so it's just like the visual style does nothing for me. There's like nothing specific to really enjoy visually. It's just colorful and everybody's smiling.
Yeah.
It's boring.
Customization, though, there is minimal. Though I will always say thank you for any form of customization. It's better than not having it. Though I wish they would have went a little further. That is a nitpick, not necessarily a score changer for me. Typical, what I would borderline call free to play stuff going on there. With like the battle.
It feels like a free to play game.
Yeah. So it didn't really feel like a very like quality experience either. It plays fine for what it is, but it also is. It just is what it is. So,
Did you play campaign? Did you play
quick match or whatever?
Okay. Yeah, let's say you didn't play multiplayer because you would have went up against those guys with the fucking. They're using those jet sticks to play that game. Probably
virtually never play against people.
There's some guy on a DDR pad just.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot more to add to it other than like
it's a simple game.
I hated playing it because I don't like the controls.
Okay.
And I don't like the way it looks, and I don't have an interest in the subject material. So there's just like nothing here for me. And this isn't necessarily, these aren't knocks on the game because I think it played fine. It looks the way it wants to look, and there's obviously an audience for this game. I'm just not that person.
Yeah.
So I had a pretty meh time with it.
I think everybody's having a pretty mad time with it.
Yeah.
Even if they like it, I think it's just kind of like, yeah, this is a thing that I'm spending my time doing.
But yeah.
Anything else?
No.
Recommendations.
If you're a Harry Potter fan, if you like sports games, because it is a sport, although we got 2 of them this month, I would play baseball over this.
That is interesting.
If you like
Water Ball and Final Fantasy X, play that.
If you like, any competitive game in general that has like battle pass systems with unlockable cosmetics and stuff like that, though I don't know too many people who like battle passes, but I'm sure they exist. And I don't know if I can add much more. It is what it is. So
yeah, I'll add. I don't know if you said it this way, but if you like free to play sport competitive style games,
say it that way.
You'll probably find some enjoyment here. Otherwise, you said the Harry Potter thing. I think that'd be the biggest draw for people is if you're into Harry Potter or if you're into trying games on PlayStation Plus when they're offered to you, in which you're in the right place because we do that every month. So we're there with you. But if you're just looking for something to try you haven't played, I'd recommend this. But there's also a million other games you can play. If the idea of playing a sport where you fly around on brooms sounds interesting to
With
you,
a bunch of kids bludgeoning each other,
you might like this. If you like, what is that free-to-play jet game? War Thunder?
Oh God, I have no idea.
One of those tank War Thunder flying around games that has like the flying in it.
Probably.
Maybe you'll like this because you fly around. I don't know. I don't fucking know. You might like it. Just check it out. Let's grade it.
Okay.
I think you're up first.
I am. My interest aside, I still think it's a pretty simple, bare-bone game. So I'm going to give it a C. I don't think it excels at anything. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it's bad either. So
yeah,
I'm going to give it a C.
I'm also giving it a C. That was the fucking first thing I thought when I was playing this game. I was like, this is C. Like, there's nothing bad. There's nothing good. It functions. It does exactly what it's here to do. I'm playing a colorful Quidditch game, and I get the rules. It's not super hard to understand. It's super hard to master, though, because those people online taught me something. Stay the fuck out of the Quidditch arena, and I will. I listen. It's passing. It's a game. It functions. There's nothing wrong with it, like in terms of like I didn't run into glitches. Mechanics function exactly how they should. Everything felt fair for the most part. So, yeah. C. The most meh C ever. Just the most mundane. You did it. But I'm going to go do something else now. So, I appreciate the work you guys put into making that game. But I'm done. So, yeah. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, that's 2 C's. Let us know in the comments what you guys think about Quidditch Champions. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you think it was meh? What's some of your favorite things about the game? Did you play it online? Are you one of those experts that I fought against? And did you play the campaign? What do you think about the unlocks, the perks, the broom, the upgrades, stuff like that? Let me know everything you think about in the comments below when it comes to Harry Potter. Last game we played was Little Nightmares 2. That is the sequel to Little Nightmares. If you didn't get a chance to play Little Nightmares 2, it is a side-scrolling 3D horror platformer in which you play a little box boy. He's got a box on his head, although there are hats you can unlock that are hidden throughout the game that you can switch out. I think I got like 3 of them. And yeah, you progress through horror-themed levels in which you figure out puzzles, physics-based puzzles. You
hold hands.
You hold hands.
Yeah.
You have, from what I played, a NPC partner who actually has pretty decent AI, but big missed opportunity. Not just letting somebody else play that second player or character. But yeah, you run around with the NPC. You evade threats. I'll put it that way. There's typically in every zone a different thing that's trying to get you, and you're typically trying to stealth around it or run from it or use the environment to stay alive. And yeah, you just kind of progress forward in this terrifying world of Little Nightmares. I think that's everything. We both played it, and I think you go first.
I do.
What'd you think?
I mean, the visual style is still pretty neat.
This actually looked like pretty good. I actually kept it on. It has performance mode. It has fidelity mode or whatever. I kept it on like the graphics mode, even though it was 30 frames per second, which drives me fucking insane. I'm one of those people. But I just thought like the game was actually really nice looking. Like the animations, the physics, the lighting, the graphics. I was like pretty impressed by it.
I played it on performance, and I thought it was a good looking game. So,
yeah.
I don't think I've ever clicked fidelity once on my PS5.
I always check it out.
Yeah.
So I want to see what it looks best, or its best graphics on PS5. So.
Yeah. So I don't remember what I said about the first game. So
I don't either.
We'll see if this lines up or not. But I think it's a good looking game. I think it plays just fine. I think the problems that are going to happen here, and I say problems because they're my problems, they're not the game's problems, which is I'm not really into horror themed stuff all that much. And the puzzle platform stealth mechanic stuff is just very not interesting for me. So, which I'm sure I'm going to get groans for that one. But yeah, I don't really like platformers very much. And I'm okay with stealth in games. It depends on the game. I did a lot of stealth in like Ghost of Tsushima, for example. I didn't mind it in that game. I actually preferred playing it that way. But in this game, it's fine. The puzzle stuff I thought was probably the most interesting part of the game. And I'm not in love with puzzle games, but I do like the interactivity between you and the NPC that follows around with you, whether it's like lifting you up or helping you push boxes, etc. And being able to like hold their hand just so you can kind of go the same pace, same direction type of thing. I thought that was all very well implemented, and probably the most fun I had playing the game. I did admittedly get bored very quickly though, because you're just kind of walking most of the time. And
yeah, I got 40% through the game, and it is just, it's not the same tonally, but it's a weird way to do a game that's similar to like Journey, where it's just about moving forward.
Yeah.
Like, what are you playing this game for? With the experience? Because like the puzzles aren't hard to figure out.
Right.
Gameplay is very simple. Run through the room, crawl through the thing, jump when you need to jump, and then when you run into an enemy, don't get killed.
Yeah.
But it is the thing that kept me playing personally is just the visual aesthetic and to see what happens next. I do like horror though, so it is interesting. The time while I was playing, I'm like, why am I playing? Like, I'm playing it for the channel, but like, why am I playing this? Like, what about it am I enjoying? And it's the experience.
Yeah, and I do think it is a good-looking game. So, like, it's just thematically not really at my speed. Though, which is kind of funny because, like, Ender Lilies is also kind of, like, horror-esque in its theming. And I thought I liked the look of that game quite a bit. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I have a whole lot more to say on it than that. The game is fine. Like, I actually think that everything about it is, like, well made. I just personally didn't enjoy it. So I'm going to try to be as fair as I can when we get to the grading part, because I don't think the game did anything wrong. I just don't think I'm the audience for it. So
yeah, that's fair. Like I said, I played about 40% of the game. I feel like I could beat this pretty quickly, but I just have so many games I'm shuffling around constantly, and I'm just completely obsessed with the finals. So, but I did play this game quite a bit. For the most part, and I enjoyed the whole time I played it. Already touched on it, but the graphics I think are like really good. I really enjoy the visual style, the details. I am impressed with the animations because this isn't like a AAA game. It's definitely like is it an indie game? I don't know who makes it, but
I don't know either.
It's impressive. The whole time I played through it, I was like, that's crazy. They made an animation for that. Like this one moment, or like, I'm trying to figure out this room, and then like a painting falls, and
it feels very crafted.
Everything feels handcrafted. Every little step you take, and everything you interact with, feels like they were there in that moment, animating that, and it wasn't just like some algorithmic generated thing of going like, okay, fucking, there's a room now, just vaguely, decorate it and we're done. Every single room, every single location you go to feels like somebody designed it, and I really, really, really like that. But yeah, gameplay is very simple. There is a charm to the simplicity of it for me, just because there's a lot of physics involved, a lot of things you pick up and throw, a lot of things you run into. That I'm trying to be vague here because I don't want to spoil stuff for people, but like oh, that was interesting. There's like traps that you run into. I think it's the second area of the school. There's like these traps set up, and like they'll swing down and hit you, and they're like really quick, and when they hit, it's like this really loud just like impact sound, and your character just ragdolls and just dies instantly. And I'm just like, that's fucking crazy. So stuff like that is kind of like, interesting. It's an interesting part of the journey. Like I said, the gameplay is so simple. It's like, what am I enjoying here? And I did enjoy it. It's just these events that happen. See what happens next. What's in the next room? What's the next event? This teacher's looking for me with a weird neck. I gotta fucking sneak around them, and when they get you, what happens then? Or what happens when these kids are chasing you and they get a hold of you? There's just a lot of, the reason you watch a horror movie, to see the mystery, the experience of the horror, and try and figure out what is happening. Why is that happening? That's what this game kind of feels like. It's like, it's bizarre, it's weird, but you're like trying to kind of unravel as much as you can what's happening in this area, which is cool. I was impressed with the AI for the NPC as well. They follow you really well. They traverse everything really well. I even walked up like it's like a teeter-totter thing in a playground, and they like jumped onto and walked up with me, so they're like right on me, and they were able to navigate. I forgot what that's called in games where you
telemetry?
No, there's when you design like a map or whatever, and you have NPCs on it, you can program where they walk. There's a word for it, but what they've done is really impressive for what I assume is a smaller budget game. Although I think it's a huge, huge misstep to not have co-op in this game, because it feels like you're playing a co-op game, but you're not. So it would have been cool to have somebody else be able to play that character or bring their own character. You would just play that character, but hopefully if you unlock hats, you could both switch them out. Little Nightmares 3 hopefully will have co-op, although I know their next game that's also horror themed is supposed to be co-op. I think that's where I got confused on this one having co-op or not. But
Gotcha.
it really feels like it should have co-op, because there's so many scenarios that are happening that you and the NPC are both interacting to solve or continue your progress. Yeah, a lot of the scenarios too with the enemies that you're running into, I think were all fun. Kind of remind me of like we played Dead by Daylight and they introduce a new killer or something like that. They have a visual style, they have a mechanic they're going to do. In this, you run into this person, that person, they do this, that, and then there's some big set piece you're going to run through with that person, and I enjoyed that as well. So, yeah, overall, I liked the game. I think I liked this more than the first game. The first one felt like a really cool concept of this horror platformer. This one feels a little more confident in what they're doing because, of course, they already made a game. They can build off of what they've done with that and expand, and it feels like they did that. It's definitely the same kind of game, though. It's they didn't evolve it too much, but it just feels a little more high quality, a little more designed, which I like. Also, the having hats hidden around. It's a game that doesn't need progress, but has something to look for, and you get something from that. You get to wear the hats, change the way your character looks. So I appreciate that as well. It's simple, but it's something. I always, I'm more inclined to want to play a game if I get something for playing it, which is such a spoiled gamer take. But there's so many games that offer things to unlock as you play it, and games that don't have that, it better be really fucking fun. Otherwise, I'm not going to be spending a lot of time there. And this game, very simple, but it's like, hey, there's collectibles and you get to wear them. That's cool. Gives you a reason to play through the game again, possibly, if you didn't collect everything the first time. So simple but effective. And yeah, I really like the physics. Everything in the game moves. It has a good weight to it, which I'm like a nerd when it comes to physics in games. So it's like something I appreciated playing through it. But overall, I liked it. And I liked it better than the first game. So yeah. Recommendations?
Yeah.
Platformers?
Yep, puzzle platformers, lightly, stealth games, very lightly.
Horror
theme games, yeah.
Yeah, if you like horror at all, you're going to appreciate this game.
Not necessarily thriller, because I didn't really experience anything.
It's not scary.
Yeah.
But just
thematic,
the genre of horror. Like,
Yeah.
if you like dark, macabre shit.
Just emphasizing because, like,
Yeah.
you can throw that word out there and people are going to associate horror with scary.
Yeah, it's not scary. You're not going to play this game and go, because some people won't play a game if it's scary. It's not scary at all. It's just horror themed. It's like Nightmare Before Christmas. It's Tim Burton shit. Like, if you like dark stuff, that's this game.
Yeah, and then if you like games, we have like an NPC like a la Elizabeth from BioShock, Ellie, Last of Us, etc.
Glad you picked the two good ones. 'Cause there's so many bad ones.
If you're into that, that you have that going on in this game as well. And then if you just like set piece games where you're going on an adventure, basically, because that's kind of what this is as well. So
yeah, I pretty much agree with all that. Puzzle platformers, horror theme stuff. If any of that sounds interesting to you, it's not a hard game to play. So if you're even slightly interested in the visual style, check it out. It's even when you die, it's designed to kill you as a set piece, but it like has a really
good checkpoints,
really generous checkpoint system. So it's more about the experience than it is like punishing you for fucking dying. It is literally a very casual, friendly game.
Yeah,
it's just looks dark. So. But yeah, I agree otherwise with the recommendations, and I wouldn't recommend it to everybody. But I think a lot of people could play this. But if you're not I don't think if you're not into the aesthetic though, it's going to do much for you. I think the fun part of it is just the crazy, eerie world that you're exploring through. So, which I liked. Yeah. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, jump into grades. I feel like this will be where we maybe differ. Because the last two grades we've had the exact same grades, which is we're brothers, we got similar temperaments, so
yeah,
it's pretty common here that we have pretty similar grades. But I'm gonna give this a B plus. I'm gonna give it a light, soft B plus. But there's nothing wrong with it. I like the aesthetic. I think the gameplay it was really easy for me to play it because it's so simple. Like come home from work and just play it for a second. I'm just like, yeah, this is like, I'm visually stimulated. The gameplay's, there. But yeah, mostly I just really appreciate the attention to detail and the passion that you feel in this game from the developer who made it. And so, yeah, I was genuinely impressed by it while playing it, even though it is a very simple game. So very light B plus.
I'm gonna give it a B minus.
Okay.
It is a well-made game, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I was personally bored, so and I do have to use that a little bit towards it because obviously it's its job to entertain the customer that's buying it, or in this case, playing it. But I don't want to use that very heavy because also not everything needs to be good for everybody. I don't think that's a good mentality to have. So
yeah, games aren't for everybody. I mean, games are for everybody, but they're not made for everybody. Yeah. Like, it's okay if you're not into a game.
Yep. And this one is just not for me, which is totally fine. I do think it is a good game, and I do think they deserve success in it. So
sure. Yeah, I am really looking forward to anything they make because they got some really cool ideas. And they're starting from a simple place. So this is one of those companies that maybe, you know, they'll grow into something that kind of like how Arrowhead made like the first Helldivers, and I fucking love that game. And then Helldivers 2 came out. It's like this huge leap.
Jump.
Yeah, it's neat to see indie devs start with something simple and then grow into something, get more ambitious because they have more resources, more experience, stuff like that. So I really want to see what they do after this game.
Yeah.
So yeah, B minus, B plus. I liked it. You appreciate it. It's all fair. Let us know in the comments. What did you guys think about Little Nightmares 2? Did you play it? Did you not play it? If you didn't play it, why didn't you play it? And if you did play it, what did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? Did you beat it? Is it worth beating? Is there anything to the game or, well, mechanic-wise, is there something I missed? Because I feel like when we talked about it, we didn't really discuss a whole lot in terms of, like, it's pretty simple, but like maybe there's something, because like when I played, I'm like, what am I playing this for? That kind of thing. When I said that, is there something that you play it for? Possibly, is it just the dark elements, or do you really like the gameplay? Let me know. And yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this episode of Plus Club. Let us know everything you're thinking about in the comments below of all 3 games. And yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to vote for Game of the Month down below. This is the last episode. We're filming Game of the Month tomorrow, so you have like 24 hours to still vote, so do that. And yeah, it'll be fun to find out what you guys pick. But I've been Seth. Thank you, Chevy, for joining me for this episode. Thank you guys for joining us. And until the next episode, which will be Game of the Month, have a good one, guys, and take it easy.